Hi, I'm Liz Cully, and welcome back to Cool, Cool, Cool. Each week, I give you a glimpse into what I think is cool and chat with a ton of people that are definitely cool. No topic is off bounds unless, I guess, it's not cool. Welcome to Cool, Cool, Cool. I was telling Taylor Strucker, I'm like, I have to stop calling Amanda Commanda. I have to call her Ramanda now.
I saw you comment that. Yeah, I think listen, Commanda will always live on, like it'll always be a part of me.
I mean, it's too iconic. I mean, now I keep thinking like, okay, Ramanda was pretty good. And now I'm
Lamanda. It's like pretty annoying. Like when I've done things like that, the thought has crossed my mind, like if I wasn't me, I'd hate me. Like it's so annoying.
It's
like when
annoying.
I mean, it could go both ways, right? If you like someone, it could be endearing. If you hate them, add it to the list of like things that are annoying about them. But it definitely crosses my mind, like whenever I do something, there's a quick like, wow, it's so annoying. But then the people that like you will like it. But I can totally see how it's like, ugh, goes to LA once is like Lamanda, like the most annoying. I
don't know. I mean, listen, I think what's been really fun to watch with you specifically, and also our larger group of friends, which I'll touch on in a second, but every week you're like, wait till this Tuesday, like here. And I'm like, oh my God. And it just keeps getting, it's almost like you are a drug addict and it just keeps getting, you have to just keep getting harder drugs. You're like, guess who's coming on? And I'm like, whoa, this is fucking crazy. And then you're like, JK, Ryan Reynolds. I'm like, this.
Yeah. Like you don't know where it's going to go. Is it going to be like somebody from reality TV that's like messy and great? And people are like, oh, that's so exciting. Or is it going to, it could just be a really nice surprise like Ryan Reynolds.
So damn. I have to ask, because I think what my show has really become, and people don't realize how annoying, I actually should to touch really quickly on being annoying. I am the most annoying person in your DMs because I'm like, well, actually, Amanda. Or I'll be like, well, did you know that like this person knows? Because I'm so annoying and I feel like I can't talk about a lot of things on air and I'm desperate to talk about and gossip about shit with people. And so I'm always like, well, Amanda, guess what? And you're like, oh my God, you must be like, here comes Liz. It's like Dumois, but like the fun police. That's what I feel like I'm in your.
Well, so here's the thing. Like, you know how there's comments by celebs, and I think their slogan used to be like, because even celebrities like love celebrities, love to so I love those DMs because it's like even celebrities will be like, well, I've heard this, or people. So I love that. I love getting the tea. Like I love getting, people think that I want to like share the tea. I don't care if I can share it or not. I want to know it. Like no, I can't sleep. Well, you know what I mean? Like obviously. I need the like Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni tea. Like I don't care who gives it to me. I'll like pay for it. I like must know it. And there will come a day when I'll know it. And I don't care if that person tells me I can't share it. I won't share it. So like, sorry guys, if I get it and can't share it, I won't tell you. But like how I get into things so quickly is like unhealthy. So to your point, like, are you annoying? You might be sometimes, but not about that. No, I'm just kidding. Not about that. Like if you're telling me stuff, tell me all day.
Well, I laughed because, and I have to apologize, but I thought that you had posted, and you didn't do this, by the way. I thought you had posted something that I had sent you, and I was like, oh, Amanda! And then I realized that it wasn't me. So I just, again.
I know what you're talking about.
Do you know what I'm talking about? And I was oh, fuck. Only because the fun, and I think some people start to realize with me is I've either like done business or I've been working, or like another example would be, we were the lucky ones. Like, remember you got the box from Hulu and all of that?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you have worked with Hulu forever, like with Kardashians. They love you. They know you. But I had been working on that campaign for that show for like legitimately 6 months. And there was and I'll just spill all the tea now. There was so much back and forth. Like I built those boxes, like all that stuff that you got for Shabbat. Like I was
so
working
cute.
with the team, like sourcing all of it, but it was like this long thing where it like almost didn't happen. And then it did. And then we didn't get the boxes. And then there was like this list that I was working on with Hulu team, and they're like, well, who do we have to give it to? And I'm like, you must give it to Amanda. So I get like so personally invested in some things because I've spent like an unhealthy amount of my professional life on it. So that's where a lot of it
That was a really good
from.
box. That was a really good box.
Well, there was a lot of people that touched that. But I mean, like I said, it's just like every week it just keeps getting, like the ante keeps getting up and up and up. Are you, and we talked about this before, but like you used to reach out to celebs. I love it when you post DMs from people from years ago and then they're back on your show. Like for me, and I'm sure a lot of your audience that are podcasting or in the industry, like that's such a wonderful thing to see through you. But are you booking your shows now, or is it just like completely coming to you?
Well, I'm booking my shows. Like I don't have like my network doesn't book for me. I don't have a publicist or anything like that. But I would say like a lot of it is incoming. Like I pitch out a lot, but like I feel like mostly what you end up seeing is stuff that has come to me.
That's
which
crazy.
is amazing.
So did like Ryan Reynolds hit you up in the DMs?
Well, no, but his PR, I've done a lot of her other, you know how, so I've done a lot of her other guests, right? And like new shows had Ryan. So it was like annoying as I could be, you know, but like I play the long game. So annoying as I could be once a year and not once a week, you know, of like, so Ryan, and I even looked back in the DMs, speaking of DMs, I looked back at my messages with her and I saw that a year ago, so we're in August, so like last like November, I saw that he started following me. So I sent her the screenshot and I was like, Ryan on the pod, which again, endearing or annoying, like pick your player. So I was like, Ryan on the pod. And she was like, oh, like maybe like a press junket or something. That was her answer a year ago, just so people know. Okay. And I was like praying emoji, like obviously anything, you know, I don't do press junkets, but I was like, I'll do it. You know what I mean? And then here we are a year later where she reached out and was like, let's do Ryan for Deadpool. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you know, obviously didn't expect it. And I think when it works, it's like, you know, it's kind of like when you get a job, right? I tell my sister, because she's like in the normal world of getting a job and going to interviews, like she'll talk to me about a job and I'll be like, they need you, quote unquote, as much. Like it's not like, I can't believe I got, like you're giving them a service, they're paying you. Like it's two things. So with a podcast, even though it's Ryan Reynolds and I would do anything to have him, it's like, there's a reason he came on the show. And if you look at his campaign for Deadpool, it was very millennial girls, right?
Yep.
It's like,
well, exactly.
He did a Housewives collab. He did a Bachelorette collab. He did so much press. He did. And it was very much, and I saw the movie, like part of it was so much for millennial girls, as his wife, Blake Lively, said. So then when I talked to his publicist about the interview before and everything, I started to realize like, oh, there's a reason that he's coming on my show, you know, like obviously he could go other places and I'm so appreciative, but you know, it needs to work for them too. Like, and it took me time to realize that. Like I used to pitch, you know, guests just at random times, like, oh, I love this celeb, pitch them. Now I understand like they're going to come on when they have something to promote. They're not going to come on for shits and giggles, you know, unless it's like a fellow podcaster or influencer that wants to just promote themselves. But if it's like a big star, like they're going to come on and take time out of their day if they have a project they want to promote. So
100%.
It took me time to understand that too, because I think I used to pitch out like all year long, you know, and be like, and it's like, they're not promoting anything. Like, why would do that? So that's how Ryan Reynolds happened. But of course, it's like insane in the membrane. I never get it. I don't get it. Like I told my husband, like, as this was getting booked, like, I need to sit down with a professional that is objective and doesn't, you know, isn't my family and aren't my friends or my followers that are so supportive, like an objective human to explain to me how the fuck this happened. You know what I mean?
Listen, one, you're great. You're endearing. You have an amazing fan base. And I think they really trust you. But you hit the nail on the head. I mean, it was so interesting. I was listening to NPR yesterday and they were breaking down the numbers of why Deadpool like worked so well. It's the first R-rated Disney movie. That's a huge deal, big blockbuster, like, you know, obviously all-star cast, but it's the first time they've ever marketed more towards millennial females than men ever for any
Wait,
type of...
They said that?
Yes.
Said that? So it worked.
Amanda,
like
no, yes, that's why I'm like, yeah, girl, you got it. Like that is exactly what it is. It was the first time ever that a Marvel movie or like a, you know, action movie, especially Disney, has ever gone after millennial women, ever.
Wow. So like, I mean, it's so interesting to see the behind the scenes of things, you know, like when I spoke to his team about it and I was like, oh, really? They want to, and then I saw the movie, it all like made sense. And then I saw like the things and I was like, okay. I get it now. And it's smart as fuck. It smart
really
as fuck
smart
to have done that. Yeah.
I think Blake Lively is the most attractive woman, maybe like ever. I mean, really like body, yaddy, like also talk about a hot pregnant woman. Like just, I have such a crush. Have you talked to her? Are you friends? Like, tell me everything. Did she come to the interview? I need to know.
No, she didn't. But I'm like, he is telling her what he did today. You know, like there's no world in which
no, of course,
he comes home and he doesn't say like, this is where I was. And then, of course, like my panic kicks in, which is like, she hates me. She's going to know that I said something bad about Taylor Swift once. Like I start like spinning, you know, I'm like, oh my God. But no, she didn't come. And everyone's like, Blake next. But again, I play the long game. Like, I'm not going to be crazy and expect like to have Blake right now. Like I can manifest Blake for like something else, maybe in a year, you know. But I'm really about that. I'm really about like playing the long game, hoping and knowing that things will come, but definitely not like being like, oh, she's coming out with it ends with us, like get her on, like pull all the strings. Like, no, like it wouldn't be cool to do that right now. You know what I'm saying?
No, I do. It's, you know, I just got booked for something this weekend and I thought it was like a prank for me. Like I was whatever. I'm like around and out there, but I thought it was a prank. I'm interviewing Bobby. Do you know this podcaster? It's a really good podcast called Bobby Altoff. So
she had some drums. I know her. She had some drums, right?
Major drums. I'm not allowed to talk about the drums. So
wait, you're interviewing her for your pod?
No, I'm interviewing her at Gary VCon, like on stage on the Amanda on the main stage. It's like the marquee thing at 5:00 on Saturday. First of all, I don't know what to wear because it's like Gen Z crypto kings. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like pushing 40.
What's Gary V?
Do you know who Gary V is?
I don't.
Okay, so look him up. This is, by the way, talk about not millennial female. He is this business entrepreneur from New York. His parents had like a wine business and he cataloged it. His whole thing is he cataloged it online and started selling wine online and is a very like kind of like a Gen Z millennial Tony Robbins, if you will. And he's doing this big conference and I got booked and apparently, hold on, this is what the crazy thing is apparently Bobby special requested for me, Liz Cully, to be the one to interview her live at this thing, which does not make any sense to me at all. I'm like, am I an industry plant? Like, what does this even mean? Like, what? I almost don't know how to handle it because I obviously want her on the pod, but it's funny. It's like the same long, I'm like having a stroke, long game situation where I'm like, you asked me and then, but why? Like, that's where, like, just like you were saying about like Ryan, like I'm figuring out like, but why me? Like, do you know what I mean? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of other people.
Totally.
Like,
totally.
There's gotta be something. And it's maybe, you know, being in the entertainment industry for now 15 years, and I've interviewed people for a long time, like more like writing stuff. You know what I mean? Like before all this. So I don't know, but I'm having one of those moments where I'm like, what? Like,
well, first of all, you've been around for longer than Bobby. So,
oh yeah, fair enough.
So there you go, babe.
I mean, maybe. I mean, listen, I was interviewing rappers as a white girl in my 20s way before anybody else was. So that's where I think maybe that's what it is. Like, I think maybe she looked at my followers and saw all the rappers follow. I don't know. It could be that. I don't know.
We'll ask her. I feel like this is one that you can just like shoot it straight, you know?
You think? Yeah. I've got to. So who is somebody that you're manifesting that's so big? Because again, it's like drugs, right? Like, I don't know where you go from here. I mean, I know where you go from here. I have people that I would love to see you interview, but like where, like, do you have anyone you've been manifesting that you can share?
I've been manifesting. I mean, an unrealistic one. I know it's sad to say unrealistic, but that really would be my dream, would be Britney Spears. And
I had a feeling.
Really?
I had a feeling you were going to say that. I don't actually think that's unrealistic.
I think it is. I think she's silenced by, I don't know, if not people, definitely by herself. Like, it's just not, I just don't. I thought, like, I manifested hard when her book was going to come out. Like, I was like, she's going to have to do press for her book. You know, months before, we, like, didn't believe there was going to be a book. Then I was like, okay, there's going to be a book. It's on gallerybooks.com. Like, it's happening. Then I was like, she's going to do press because everyone does press for, like, their book and their project. And then she didn't do press. And then I was like, oh, that's not good. You know what I mean? And then she didn't read her own book on the audiobook. That's not good. So it's
I will say Michelle Williams did a chef's kiss job at that audiobook.
I know. Like, and now who do you think is going to play her in the biopic? I
don't know. I was going to ask you what you thought too. I don't know. I wonder, you know,
people are thinking, I'll tell you who people are thinking would be the best for it. A lot of people are saying Sydney Sweeney.
I mean, she's also very hot, but I feel very Predator, like, because I'm so old.
She's young?
Yeah, she's
Stop saying old, like you're 40. I don't understand.
I am almost 40, Amanda.
But that's not considered old. Like, okay, where are you in the world? Like, that's not
Los
considered
Angeles?
old.
I don't know. Help
me. That's old in Los Angeles?
I don't know. Again, I want to talk to you about having kids because now I'm like, fuck, maybe I'm like too old. But anyway, my mom had me at 40, but still.
They just came out with a study that like people that have kids over 40 live till longer or something.
I know. Unfortunately, I think that's going to happen with my own mother. But for me, and and I also like low key don't want to live that long. Like, how am I going to live? Like, it's just too much.
Can you stop saying stupid shit?
Okay, fine. Okay, so they say Sydney Sweeney. Who else?
Which I don't think I wouldn't like because I would just be annoyed. But something annoys me about her. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit of like. There's a little bit of like, I'm constantly aware of how hot I am.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's that. People are thinking maybe Margot Robbie. I'm sure she could do a good job because she could do anything.
Very good character actress. Yes.
And then people are saying Addison Rae, who I feel like body-wise, like I feel like she has the same like look and like pizzazz. Yeah. But like the acting chops wouldn't do it justice, you know? So I'm like conflicted. And then people were thinking Blake, because Blake wore that Versace dress that Britney wore, and people thought that she was wearing it as a nod, as a hint, wink, wink. But Blake even said when she was asked on the red carpet, she was like, as much as I would love to, like, I shouldn't be playing. Like, she can't be playing like a younger Brit, you know? It just wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't think that casting makes sense. But yeah, well, here's what I know about those kind of biops, because I do have several friends that went very, very far with Madonna. Remember when Madonna was supposed to do the whole, and I have I'll give a little like wink for the listeners. I've interviewed that person on this podcast and we could not talk about it. So go through the archives. But I've had friends who were like so far, like doing all of those rehearsals. And then Madonna was just like, no. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, like, it's not working. There was so many creative differences. I would see the same thing I could see a Britney movie, like, really having a hard time taking off.
Do you think that Britney, I don't know if Britney has the same powers as Madonna when it comes to her shit, you know?
Well, I could just see it falling apart. Like, now I'm going to get, like, so into, this is like me in your DMs being the most annoying human being ever. I would think that it could also potentially be very hard to ensure that movie, depending on how involved Britney Spears is.
Yeah.
Because, like, she could stall production and, like, do all that kind of, you know what I'm saying? And they could be like, what the fuck? This is not worth it. So I would think, and a studio might be like, dude, and it would depend on her involvement. I would love to see it. I mean, I had my issues with that memoir. It kind of felt like a Westworld loop of the same story, like every chapter. And I'm like, okay, we like literally just heard you say this like 500 times. But I asked a friend who works with celebrity memoirs, and she said that 4 different ghostwriters worked on that book, and that's why.
Oh, wow. Yep. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that. I just heard that it was legit, that she sat down with them and was really, like, telling her story. Like, it's not like she was involved in it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, people don't get that from the Variety headline of, like, this is happening till it happens. Like, see you in 6 years, you know? Like,
literally.
It's literally not going to be, like, tomorrow.
So, okay, so you did not really answer the manifestation outside of Britney. Outside of Britney. What would be, like, a more, like, tangible one that you think that could happen?
Maybe, like, Selena Gomez?
That's exactly what I was going to say! Did you hear me earlier when I was like, I've been calling you Commanda and Ramanda? Maybe it's Samanda next.
No, I didn't hear it.
I said that. Under my breath. I didn't? Oh, I was in my mind.
Because
I think I said it in the shower while I was preparing this morning. I think Selena Gomez is so obtainable for you.
Really?
And she's lovely.
I flipped on her a little bit. I didn't flip, but I was actually, I never took a side in the feud, the HB SG feud.
Oh, yeah.
I never, I know that her fans could be crazy. I don't blame her for that. And I really feel, and it's nice to feel, I feel very happy for her. Like, I'm so, like, I feel like this is a new manifestation because I feel like this year with Benny Blanco and, like, all her success with Only Murders and everything, I'm just like, I'm happy for this girl, Like, I want her to do well. And I feel like she is very deep and she's very self-deprecating and she's very, like, filled with issues and problems. So, like, she is, like, such a good example of when people are, like, obsessed with famous people and think being famous is the best thing ever. Like, she's an example of, like, she'll tell you, like, it's really not that great. You know what I mean? Like, she suffered, like, she suffered in her life from being famous and from other stuff. But yeah, I think, like, that's why she'd be cool. She has so much going on. And she's really happy now. And I feel like she's engaged, by the way, because her story today had hearts literally over the ring finger.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I saw your post and I was like, you reposted it. And I thought it was about her boob. But also, again, it was like 7 a.m. for me and I was tired. So I was like, what? I will say this. I stood in line at the Emmys in front of, it was real. The Emmys this past year were really crazy because there was no open bar, which is so hood. Like, everyone was complaining. Usually it's open bar, it's free. Like, people are walking around. So what,
you had to pay for it?
Yes.
No.
Wait, you'll love this. So I'm standing in line getting a drink because, by the way,
to pay for.
And I'm standing in line. So, like, there's, it's a theater. So there's, like, 3 concession stands, 1 in the middle, 2 on the side. And I was on the side and I went with my best friend who's always nominated for Top Chef. They're like the Susan Lucci. They never win. And we were on the side and I'm in line waiting. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is so crazy. And I'm listening to people, like executives from every studio being like, I'm sorry, what? Like, we have to pay for this? This is crazy. And luckily I had my purse with me, whatever. And I'm in line. And this woman in front of me who was I'm going to assume that she was a executive. I don't know. She wasn't a famous person, or I didn't know who she was. And she's ordering like all these drinks and they're like, ma'am, that'll be like $80 whatever dollars. And she's like, what? I don't have my wallet. Like, this isn't free. And like turns to me as if I'm going to pay for it. And then I could kind of feel, when you feel a lot of people, and also, this more than anyone, like, how some superstars literally radiate in a room?
Yeah.
Like you can feel their energy energetically.
Uh-huh.
I knew there were some super famous people behind me. But again, you're at the Emmys. You're not trying to like look at everybody and be a nerd, you know? You're like, I'm at the Emmys too. So I feel all this presence behind me, and it's Benny and Selena and like all of her. She was really the only person I saw with security, by the way. I didn't see any security with anyone because again, it's the fuck, you're like, everybody's a celebrity. So she had 2 security guards. I think she just probably does all the time. And I turn around and I'm like, well, I'm not like kind of being like, you pay for it. I was like, I'm not gonna fucking like, you're fucking Selena Gomez. Like, girl, you got way more. I'm out here in Glendale, like redoing a 100-year-old house, like room by room. Like I have to fuck, like you pay for it. And she was really sweet. I don't actually know if she paid for it. The woman like stepped to the side and I just got 2 glasses of champagne, but it was very funny. Cause like Selena kind of looked up from her phone like, huh? I'm like, yeah, girl, like I'm not gonna fucking pay for this. But I think that would be a great interview for you. I really hope it happens. It'll probably happen next Tuesday when you're like dropping in your cab, like, guess who's coming? Like, and we'll be like, here she goes again.
Wait, Liz, I just want to say like those events, it's just wild because like, I'm not like a fashion show girly. Like I'm not, and I don't need to be invited to them. Don't want to be invited to them. I know people really like to go to them and be in Fashion Week. Obviously that's not my thing, but I went to like one fashion show and I was shook that there was no drink there. Like, and then I realized like, that's so true. Nobody's sitting with a drink at a fashion show. I was like parched. Like I do not enjoy to go places where I cannot drink or eat. Like there needs to be something in my mouth.
Don't go to any of these places.
People need to realize, like, I'm just saying this so people cannot be jelly of people going to these things. You know what I mean? Like, just know that, like, it's hectic and you have to pay for your drinks. That's literally wild. That's so annoying.
It was really wild. I mean, at the Oscars, they always have, like, well, first of all, they won't let you really bring in food, which is so annoying. I would also just like to tell everyone that these award shows are 1 million hours long. It is the longest day of your life. I am not a celebrity, so like no one gives a shit about me. I actually have to like wait in lines. I mean, it's really weird and it's really hectic and it's really long. The best part about it is the after parties, hence like Vanity Fair Oscar party. You know what I mean? Like that's like what, and even that is not really like, now I don't even work at Condé anymore. I can tell you now, like it is not what you think it is. It's like people standing around, taking pictures, leaving. It's so not like a party. I honestly will say this, and really I feel like you and I would have been best friends in high school because you were like cool, like international, like didn't you live in Tel Aviv? Like going back and forth, smoking cigs, like you and I would have been like fucking this, and which is why I love you now. But I would rather smoke cigarettes with you in like a weird early aughts like club in some random European city than go to the Oscars.
Wow.
Full stop. You and I would have way more fun like drinking like rum and cokes, being like, or like vodka sodas with cranberry, like being weirdos.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Vodka cranberry. Like,
yeah. You and me, babe.
God.
You and me. And it's so funny because
gross.
you were pregnant recently with beautiful Lenny, who's like the most beautiful baby alive,
So cute.
really upping the ante with like child models. And I wanted to reach out to you because I have been doing this like kind of special here and there episode of Cool, which is I'm scared to have a baby, which I am very scared to have a baby.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my God, I would love to have Amanda on, but like she's pregnant, like she's going to go on mat leave. First of all, you did not go on mat leave.
First of all, she didn't,
What, like, why did you not take any time? Were you just like, fuck it?
Well, it was more like, first of all, with my pregnancy, it was way harder going and doing podcasts like 38 weeks pregnant. So my plan was to stop recording earlier at like 37 or 6 weeks. And then I would get a good pitch and it was like, oh, I want to, I want to do Lisa Vanderpump. Like I love her. So I went with Lisa Vanderpump at like pushing 39 weeks, like really like, and she wanted to like deliver my baby. And I'm so glad I did that interview. It was like one of my favorite this year. Like I'm just like obsessed with her. And also like, I'm very aware that my job is not all day. It's not a 9 to 7. It's not a 9 to 6. Like I can go for an hour and do a podcast and come back. So like, what am I going to do? Sit at home? Like I'm talking about having a baby and then like wait to like give birth. Like, no, I'd rather be busy. So that's why before I didn't really chill. And then after it was like, I banked some episodes so I wouldn't have to run to the studio. And I think my first episode back, I scheduled for a month after, and I felt comfortable with that. I was like, I think a month after, and I'm not talking about comfortable with myself because getting dressed right now is like the hardest thing in the world. But aside from that, I was like, I feel like I'll be feeling better. You know what I mean? Like
awake.
Yeah. So it does sound crazy because I remember when I interviewed Mandy Moore. And I interviewed her for what project was that? The Dr. Death. And she had gone to film it 6 weeks after having a baby. Now, filming a TV show is very different than going for an hour to record a podcast and take a cab back, right? So like that was crazy. Like 6 weeks, but she was filming a show. That's like all day. That's like 12-hour days. And you have a new baby. Like your boobs are breastfeeding. Like that's crazy. But then now that I was kind of doing work again a month after, I'm like, was not. But anyway, my point is, obviously it's different when you have like a normal office job to go back to work. Like I can be home and then go and, you know, and I could have like but I didn't want, it was hard for me to like not post when I was like pushing the baby out, you know? I mean, I'm so used to it. It's hard to like turn it off, you know?
I know. I mean, that's your work ethic, though. I love because you've worked so hard. And I also appreciate that you're like, yeah, like I can do it. So why wouldn't I? I mean, I get that question sometimes, and I don't have a million followers and Ryan Reynolds on my show, but I, you know, have a fucking 2-hour commute now, which let me tell you, I don't.
Shit.
This is
really for reals,
dude. Amanda, it's an hour there and an hour back, and this is so. Oh wait, LA.
You're adding the there and back for the commute. Okay,
2 hours in the car. I listen to you. I listen to like all my friends. I mean,
where is it? What is the cool job again? Which congratulations, it's such a cool title. But say it again.
I'm the vice president of entertainment and special projects at the Hollywood Reporter. I know it was a little bit of a pinch me moment. It was crazy.
I'm just telling you, I think I DM'd you this when I said congrats, but like that used to be like that kind of title was like what I thought that I would do. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it is what you do basically. Well, it's just different. You are your own, not skinny enough, but not fat is the Hollywood Reporter.
Like it's my own thing. But when I was manifesting all these years in Delulu, I literally was applying to jobs that sounded like that with a resume that did not at all like a resume of like a random fucking place in Israel that nobody's ever heard of. And I'm like, what? Like, and I just like your job, just like, I don't care what you do. It sounds so cool. And that's what I wanted. Like I wanted something that like sounds so cool. Like, and then when I worked at not cool sounding things, and people would be like, what do you do? I'd be like, it doesn't represent me, but I'm a bookkeeper at blah, blah, blah. Like I was a bookkeeper. I was random ass jobs, but I always thought that my job should be like a cool job. Like I had a Facebook status once that said, cool girl looking for cool profesh.
Well, and now you're on cool.
I mean, but isn't that wild? Like this fucking Delulu ass, like fucking loser who like was like, I'm saying this in an endearing way. Like that's how I thought of it sometimes. Like sometimes it went deeper, right? And sometimes it was just like, I should be doing something cool. You know what I mean? Like that's as surface as it was at times, but also at times, obviously, like way deeper. And like you said, like I've been kind of working up to this my whole life. But actually I interviewed, Ryan Serhant. He's that big ass real estate guy. He has a show on Netflix.
Yes.
So he said something really interesting because he's made his money, but he just keeps going and his calendar is fucking crazy. And he's like at the same speed he was when he like needed the money. And it's like, why? And I asked him like, why? And his answer was really good. And it's like, he's like, I have this ability. I have this power. I have this thing that I do that I'm great at. Why would I not do it? He's like, it feels like a Good Will Hunting kind of like waste. He like brought up that moment in Good Will Hunting at the end when Ben Affleck tells Matt Damon, like, if you are here with me in 10 years, like packing the cat, like I'm killing you. Like you need to, you should be doing bigger and better. So I felt like I really related to what he said. It's like when people are like, why are you back so soon? Why are you doing that? You know, and it's like, this is what I do. Like, this is what I love to do, feel blessed to do. Like, why wouldn't you do it? You know what I mean?
No, I
like,
mean,
why,
listen.
and that's
I get
probably
it.
Kim K too. Kim K, who doesn't stop either. And people are like, you're a maniac. She's like, I'm going to sit home when I have like all of a sudden movies being thrown at me. Like, why wouldn't I do the movies?
No, I know. I mean, her work ethic is really one to be, we're really all of them. I mean, really to be admired. I mean, listen, I feel the same way. I mean, people were like, why did you leave Condé Nast? I'm like, because I want like more and more. You know what I mean? By the way, like this is such a cool job and I'm so excited and it like came to me and like the whole way it happened. But I already am like, okay, well, what's the next? You know what I mean? I'm like, well, cool. Like, can I own the Hollywood Reporter? No, I'm just kidding. Jay Penske, you're so hot. Like, thank you for employing me and haven't given me great health insurance. But you know, I get that. And that's why I think like I always really loved you and like even Hannah Berner, who I'm so fucking happy for. Like, I just love watching people crush and keep going and doing what they're doing, especially women, especially ones that I know. I'm like, yes, this is fucking great. That's what I mean. Like every week I'm like, here goes Amanda. Like, look who, like, here's a hint and here's an Easter egg. I'm like,
wait, why are you, you're making fun of I feel you.
I love it though.
No.
I'm teasing you because I love you, but you're like in the
no,
car,
but you know
like,
what's so funny this time, especially with the tease, is like nobody got my tease, and I was like,
I never
if they got
them.
it. Like I was like, if they got it, they would be way more excited. Like this isn't a Ryan Reynolds level excitement. Like they don't get it. Like fail by me. Thought it was genius, and people just thought because I like did this like video that was like what's in my bag, and then I pulled out like the Deadpool mask at the end, and like people just thought it was like Noah's mask. That so nobody like was like, oh my god, do you understand? Like it was such a fail. Like I was like, you guys, him holding it, it's a Deadpool mask, and like literally everyone's like, wait, Noah left his mask in your bag, and I'm like, oh, okay. And teasing is annoying, and I can only do it for like a day. Like I'm not about to like tease for 3 weeks. You know, it's like the same thing as the Variety headline. Like, okay, headline, and how many also actors do you know were like they get the headline and then they're like, oh my god, no, the studio hasn't even, you know what I mean? It's just not until it's like done and there and sealed, then it's like, you know, that's more of it. Like I just don't want to say it until it's like real, you know?
Well, yeah, no kidding. I mean, I felt to be not to like really make a crazy leap of two things connected, but that's how I feel like going through IVF has been. I talked about it and talked about it and talked about it and had people on my shows really because there's so much misinformation out there. And I think there's a lot of people, gay, straight, whatever, going through IVF. And I'm like asking all these questions. And then I just sort of haven't talked about it a lot. And it's so funny because I was talking to Leah McSweeney yesterday, who was like, I'm scared to ask you. I'm like, no, like it's all good. Like everything worked. Like it happened. It's good. It was awful. And like, I don't wish like injecting yourself and going through surgery like that on anybody. It blows. Like it's not fun, you know, but everything was cool. Now I'm just like, oh shit, I'm like scared to actually have a kid. I'm actually scared. And this is what I want to ask you because you've done it twice. You've worked your butt off both times. You make parenting look so easy. I know that you were like an edgy kid going to nightclubs when you were like 16 in Israel. Like, what's up? I'm just like, do I really have the energy to be pregnant and have a child? Like, that's what I'm nervous about. I'm not nervous about the kid. I was a nanny for 10 years. Trust me, if Noah was anywhere near me, he'd be like petting my hair. He'd be touching me. Like, they love me. Kids, like, I'm like, they sniff me out like a bomb dog. They like love me. I'm kryptonite. But the pregnancy, the energy,
Yeah.
that's what I'm scared about. And how do
Yeah.
you deal with that with so much, especially being your own business owner, having these things come your way? Like, how do you do it, Amanda?
Yeah.
Tell me.
No, I will agree with you. I have to say, even now, like when I look at Lenny and I'm like, I can so understand wanting to have another one when you have this cute baby and you're like, I love you. You're going to grow up. And like, I would want that again. And what makes me deter from that is only the pregnancy and the birth, because I'm not saying that having the baby is easy. It's not, but I do feel much like better this time. I feel more prepared. I've done it already, right? So like, I don't have as much of like that I had at the beginning with Noah when I was like in the trenches. But like the pregnancy, I mean, listen, some people breeze through it. And I'm very lucky to have had a pretty good 2 pregnancies, meaning thank God, like not complications. Thank God, not even like throwing up. And yet.
Oh, no throwing up. I was going to ask you that.
No. And yet still disgusting, you know, like still not fun. Still not fun. And it doesn't matter. Like, I don't know, like people, I don't know if it's the summer, the winter. It's just you're heavy. You're carrying around so much extra weight and it's not fun. And it's a good 10 months of your life. And I insist on saying 10 months because like people like, I'm like, literally the patriarchy calls it 9. But excuse me, it was like, for me, 10 months. I mean, if you give birth at like 37 weeks, you know what I mean? But I gave birth at 40 plus 3. That's fucking 10 months, okay?
That's
10 months of being pregnant.
Months.
Now I'm postpartum, which is like a whole other thing. And that's another like year or 2 of your life of getting back to kind of like the before. So it's like, it takes a lot out of you and your body and the changes. And I feel like the baby is such a gift. So it's like worth it, but also is the reason that makes it crazy to me to do it over and over. You know, like even when I was in the hospital giving in the process of labor, my husband looks at me and goes, this is crazy. Like what? This is insane. Like it's an insane. It's insane. And like everyone acts like it's normal. And Blake Lively does it 4 times. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that she's a celebrity. She's doing it the same way as you. You know, people like to think whatever. But, you know, I went where I gave birth, Lenox Hill. Beyonce gave birth there. So there was like the Beyonce suite, like where she get like her room, which anyone can pay for. It's just like the upgraded, by the way, not even that expensive. I was like, I should have taken the Beyonce suite. Like, why did I take this regular private room? But at the end of the day, like, and I talked to Amy Schumer about it when she was on my podcast because she gave birth in the Beyonce suite. And she was like, at the end of the day, it's still a hospital and it's still like a room in a hospital. Like even Beyonce is giving birth to her fucking twins in a hospital, you know, with the same doctors. It's like not, you know, at the end of the day, we all turn into animals because it's an animal act of fucking pushing. I'm sorry, am I scaring you? I'm sorry. Is this helping? Are you less scared now?
I'm just dying because I really, you know, just like you had a gut that you would interview some of these people, I had a gut, like I really wanted to talk to you about this because I knew you'd be like, no, this is like what the fuck it is. I can't stand the women that are like, being pregnant was the most amazing thing in my life. I'm like, that is not true. There's no way that can be true.
There's no way. I mean, listen, Kourtney Kardashian is my girl and I relate to her on many levels and she's been my fave throughout the years. But her take on like pregnancy and being a mother, like, I'm just like, are you okay? But she means it. But she's literally like, if you guys watch the Kardashians, she had this season, the camera's in with her in the room. And after she gave birth, and she had like a similar experience to me where like she needed to be given like Pitocin to get things going. And literally she gave birth and then she looks at Travis and she goes, that was great. Like she literally said that. And I was like, is she? And like, then she's like, I'm in my blissful baby bubble. And like, you asked me about that at the beginning. I just don't relate to like over, you know, when women are in the hospital, they had just pushed this thing out of their vagina. They're bleeding. They're disgusting. They have a catheter and they're like, I've never been more in love. Like, you don't even know the baby yet. Like, it just came. Like, get to know the baby.
Hold on. That's
and
a
then
great
say it.
Wait, that's a great question. Did you have Noah and Lenny's names picked out, or did you need to meet the boys first?
No. I don't. I had them. Yeah.
You had them. I know,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
let me tell you, the running list of like Rachel and I and the baby names, she only has picked boy names that she really likes, and they're insane. Way to like really get to know someone when they're like, this is my favorite baby name. I'm like, are you a fucking psycho? Like my 86-year-old aunt who goes to Burning Man, who is the most amazing, she like put on our wedding for us. Like she is a magical once in a lifetime human. Looked at my wife and was like, wow. Like she was like, what? And I mean, it's crazy.
Wait, how didn't you know that until now? Like how long have you been together?
10 years.
And you've never talked about baby names until now?
No.
That's crazy.
Listen, I can't be a textbook lesbian. I have to have some, things that are sacred. I had a baby name, and my ex-best friend is such a CNX Tuesday, not in the listen to Not Skinny, Not Fat way, but in the you're a bitch way. And she used my fucking baby name. After clowning on my baby name forever, she used it after we stopped being friends.
Wait, can you say it or
yeah,
no?
Celine. I always wanted to name my baby Celine, and she used it.
Wow. And that's like, it's not that common. Like she used yours.
Do you die? Oh, also, I would love to watch you interview Celine Dion.
Oh, she was that documentary.
I know.
But that's such a good name. That is a cute name. I
Thank
like
you.
names, like my vibe for names are like, I don't like, I wouldn't want a crazy name. And I would want something that's like, sounds really nice, is like not the most common, but also isn't, like when Gwyneth named Apple, like not something crazy like that, which now isn't that crazy. Like Apple sounds super normal.
No, it doesn't.
It still doesn't.
It actually like does not sound normal at all. And did you ask her that?
No, I didn't have Gwen.
You haven't had Gwen?
I haven't had Gwyneth. But you
Why
know
did
who
I
named
think
their
you-
baby? Wait, do you know who named their baby something crazy? And they both follow me, so I couldn't really make fun of it. But like these two Love is Blind people. Did you watch Love is Blind?
Yes.
So there was a
beginning,
lot-
the first one, or like
No,
another season?
like a recent one. There's like a
No,
Love
I
is Blind
haven't
baby
watched it.
from a recent couple. It's Zach and Bliss, and like should have known that Bliss would, continue the legacy of a crazy name. They named their baby, and it's a girl, Galileo.
Galileo. That's
Is
insane.
that on Rachel's list?
No. I can't even tell you. I'll tell you. I'll DM you in my annoying DMs her list. It's just like weird. I'm like, okay, like whatever. Honestly, she only has boy names picked out. Like, who even knows if I'll
Wait,
get
are
to
you
two
gonna
kids?
pick? Are you gonna pick a gender or like
Well,
what is gonna?
I mean, here's the tea. I mean, I don't care. I'll say it on here. I'll reveal with you. Not skinny, not fat. I have a boy and a girl embryo.
Oh, that's what you have like ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Is
That's
that
what survived?
Oh, that's what survived. So that it's okay. So like people maybe inform the people of that, because people think like it's like, oh, you have all these embryos and then you pick what you want. Like,
Oh my God,
like
no.
it's not.
I mean, well, so basically what had happened was, and you do an egg retrieval, or you hope to do an egg retrieval. I mean, this is the crazy thing about IVF that I don't think people like realize. I had 9 eggs, which at my age, and I have like low AMH, and what some people have, like I've had women message me and be like, I had 30 eggs. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's crazy. I mean, I did it at 39. So I had 9 eggs, which is my lucky number, which is weird.
Wait, 9 eggs total in your body?
Yeah, that they retrieved. And then 8 of those eggs were viable, like to even try to put sperm into them. Of those 8 eggs, 3 of them survived the
whole process.
Like the whole process. And then only 2 of those 3 were like, I paid like a gajillion dollars to do all the fucking testing on the planet.
Well, good. Yeah.
And then 2 of them were healthy enough to eventually try to implant at one point. So
you have 2.
Mm-hmm.
And so a boy and a boy, or a boy and a girl?
Boy and a girl.
Oh, cool.
I know. But I'm like, I'm turning 40 and I just turned 39. So it's not quite, but I'm not.
Wait, and do you have the dude sperm that you got? did you buy it all? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so I partnered with Seattle Sperm Bank, and they were lovely, and they did gift me some sperm. But first of all, picking sperm was the craziest experience of all time. It took 6 months. It like almost took 6 months for Rachel and I to really like figure out and agree on like the profile. And then you would go to get the sperm, and the sperm would sell out that night. Amanda, it's like
wait, and then because I just met my sister had a birthday party for a kid, and she has friends like a lesbian couple with 2 kids, and she was really telling me about the whole experience with the sperm. And you know me, I get in the nitty gritty. I'm like, does it smell? Like I'm literally like, I have so many questions.
I don't know. It went from the bank to the doctor. Never touched it. Never saw it. But yeah,
no, because I think you could because I think one of their babies they did not IVF. What's the first thing you could do?
IUI.
Yeah. So like that's crazy.
Well, no, and so I actually have a ton of sperm. Like they gave me some sperm, and then we really liked the donor, so I bought a ton.
Yeah.
Which is expensive as fuck, by the way.
Wait, and did you also want to make sure that like that sperm isn't going to other people?
I didn't do that because
can you?
You can, but it's like $30,000 to $50,000, I think. Unless
the dude didn't donate that much, and then you could just be like, give me everything.
Well, I did buy it all.
Oh, okay.
I bought all from that round, but I'm sure he's gone back.
Oh, you think he goes back? Oh, that
yeah.
fucker.
Wait, have you watched A Man with 1,000 Babies on Netflix?
No, I didn't.
I've been DMing with one of those people because I wanted them on my show because they're sociopaths, Amanda.
The people that keep on donating. Wait, the people that go back to donate sperm all the time?
Yeah.
Why are they sociopaths? They get money for it.
You gotta please watch that documentary and text me immediately afterward.
Oh my God.
I need you to do that for me, and you'll die.
Crazy. Is it culty?
Yeah, it's like crazy.
Oh, okay.
You'll like love it. So anyway, so yeah, I mean, I could do IUI, and I might. The job thing I didn't know.
Wait, so you haven't decided to do it yet? Like everything's ready to go. You just have to like push the button.
Yeah, push the button. Yeah, and I haven't done it yet because I started a new job. I wasn't ready. You know what I mean? It was just like it wasn't the time. And so it's really, listen, I've had a lot of sex with men very drunk. And sober, but mostly drunk. And I'm like, that was so much easier. This is so like planned and crazy. And I think when you start, when you're like having sex and you get pregnant, like God willing, that's great. You don't think like, I have to be pregnant. Like when you start to really break down the process, that's when you get scared. Or if you're like me, you get scared.
Right. Because you really need to decide on the day you're gonna do it.
Yes. Okay. One and final and last question. What advice would you have given yourself with your first baby?
Oh, wow. I think I took my own advice then, which is the advice that I kind of give and merched up is like, you can be a mom and still be a dumb bitch, meaning you can be a mom and it's
which is the best merch, by the way.
And also I really believe it. And the thing that it means is obviously not that you're dumb, but that you can still be into the shit that you're into and still like, yes, there are moms that I'm sure a lot of us know, and you might be one, and that's okay, that took the role of a mom and made it kind of like everything. Maybe that's what you're into now. Maybe you want to study parenting. Maybe you want to, you're into like the courses and the things, and like that's your entire world. But it's also okay, and I recommend it, is to have your shit going on. It's like to have a baby and have your interests and have your friends and keep on watching your dumb reality TV and keep on being the same girl that you were, because you can be that still and be a mom. And I remember when I was scared to have Noah because my career had not taken off yet at all, I was scared because I wasn't there. And it was like, I'm going to have a baby. This is going to stop everything. This is going to ruin everything, And I have to say, like, the opposite happened. Like, Noah came and everything got better. Like, that's actually, I know when everything started taking off, and it's when Noah came. Like, it's almost like, I mean, Jewish people do believe that babies are like good luck kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why Jewish people have a ton of babies, because they're like, good luck, it'll bring. They have like 25 babies. And it's like, but really, like, Noah, somebody DM'd me that when Ryan Reynolds came on. I mean, that's a very specific way to look at it, but they were like, Noah brought you the Kardashians and Lenny brought you Ryan Reynolds. And it's like, okay, not specifically, but good shit can happen still when you're a mom. Like, you can still be a go-getter. You can still do things. You can still keep going. You can still be into your shit and have a baby and be an amazing mom and still go out there and do the things that you love and breastfeed and watch Housewives. Like, you can do all the things and be all the things, and you could do your podcast and while the baby's taking a nap, and you can make it happen. You know what I mean? That was my advice to myself so that I can like not stress out about it. And I followed my advice and it proved to work. You know what I mean? And that's the advice that I give.
No, that's, I needed that pep talk. That, again, why I wanted to talk to you. Because I think that's where I've just been getting so overwhelmed where I'm like, oh my God, like I started this new job. Like, honestly, I had lunch with a very like big wig in the podcasting space a week ago. And I looked at him and I'm like, I don't know. Like, I love doing my podcast. It's like my 15th show that I've done over the years. Like, the whole landscaping's changed. Like, people are getting so big. I feel like I'm not, like, maybe I'll just like stop. Like, maybe I just won't do it. And then that crazy call from Gary Vee's team came like the next day. And I'm like, well, okay, maybe I am doing something that's like great. And then I got booked on this like crazy show that's happening in a week from now. And I'm like, oh, wow, like that's crazy. Like, maybe I am giving a perspective that's like a little biz and a little les and like a little this and a little that other people aren't getting other places. And I think with the baby stuff, I've been like, oh my God, like, fuck, like, do we have time? Like, is
a little biz, a little les, a little baby, a little mama. Just add it to the list. No, but I would say, which I would say like, just fucking do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. All right,
one on that is
okay,
like, just fucking
Amanda.
do it. You know, no, but I'm just fucking do it. It's not going to be easier in a year. It's not going to be easier in 6 months, you know?
I literally, kid you not, my wife is going to murder me. I took her headphones and she's going to kill me. Actually, we might just get divorced. You might have just seen.
You took all her shit.
Yeah, and she's never going to speak to me again. So actually, maybe I'll be a single mom who works 2 jobs and never stops. I love you. Thank you for doing this.
Of course. Thank you.